Welcome to Habit Floppers Anonymous. My name is Faye and I am a consistent habit flopper. Raise your hand if you have set out to make a change in an area of your life, maybe get fitter, get better grades, wake up a little bit earlier, and falling flat on your face miserably. Congratulations, you're in the right place to taking your first step to never feeling the post-habit flopping pain ever again, thanks to a system that I designed around a crappy Bravo reality TV show. It might sound ridiculous, but this system has allowed me to break away from the 92% of the population who cannot stick to a habit, graduate from medical school, work full-time as a doctor, all whilst living a more happy, fulfilled and healthy life. If you're new here, then hello, welcome. My name is Faye. I'm a doctor working in the UK and I've made my fair share of mistakes in falling flat on my face in a various array of areas of my life. And the aim of this channel is to hopefully share those mistakes that I've learned in the hopes that you can learn from them and avoid making them yourself. When I was growing up in North Wales, on a Monday after school was when I'd always go to my nana's house, and every single time I went to my nana's house there was one TV programme that always went on, Millionaire Matchmaker. Guys, this is as crappy reality TV shows get.
Let's meet my celebrity client. Yeah. All right.
I'm pretty sure it got cancelled and I can completely understand why. It was trash. Also, the behaviour of a lot of people on that show was definitely very questionable, but I used to love it. I'm a big advocate for shitty reality TV because it's always been such an escape from reality for me. But in this case, it actually helped me design a system for making habits and then sticking to them. If you have watched The Millionaire Matchmaker before, then you'll be familiar with the non-negotiables principle. So basically, the premise of The Millionaire Matchmaker is shock. These millionaires who come to this woman, Patti.
It's hard to find a nice girl because all people knows I'm royal. Patti, bitte helf mir, meine zukünftige Frau zu finden.
So we're starting off at the very beginning of the millionaire's journey, and they come to Patti and they give Patti their non-negotiables. These are the things they will not negotiate on when it comes to finding a partner.
Nice boobs, yeah.
Now, more often than not, these millionaires will come into her office and they will say they want a tall, leggy blonde who's under 25 when they're a short, bald man of 40. But that's not how this relates to good habits. I've changed my view of what I see habits as. I feel like we're all so sick and tired of hearing that we need to have better habits and ultimately just feeling guilty when we fall off and we don't keep up with them. But I've changed how I view habits to non-negotiables. Let's think about any habit that you want to implement. So let's say going to the gym 3-4 times a week. I bet every time you go to get ready for the gym, you are having negotiations in your head. Oh, it's quite rainy outside, maybe I should just stay at home, I'm feeling quite tired from the day. These ongoing negotiations that are just chipping away at your motivation to get out the door and just get it done. I'm not silly, and I'm not going to claim that I can silence those negotiations completely. They are part of human nature. But what I have done to give myself the best chance of silencing the negotiations and making sure that I stick to my habits is creating rituals around the habits that have absolutely nothing to do with the habit itself. Case in point, whenever I want to get any work done whatsoever, I will make myself a hot drink, probably a coffee if it's in the morning or a peppermint tea if it's getting past 12. I will bring it to my desk, place it on my left side, pick up my phone in my right, turn on my Forest and put my phone behind my laptop and get going. I'm at the point where this is so ingrained in my muscle memory that I just do it and I know what comes next. Because I've built up this ritual leading up to what I want to do, it would probably take more energy in my brain to break the ritual and the momentum caused by my muscle memory. Another kind of example is that I've been trying to cycle to work instead of driving to work, and the ritual for this starts as soon as I wake up and I get my clothes out to change into after I've had a shower. So if I was driving, I'd probably drive into work maybe in scrubs or in like professional clothes, but if I'm cycling, obviously I cycle in activewear. So as soon as I wake up and I get my activewear out and I take it to the bathroom with me to change into after I've showered, I've already initiated the chain of events that will eventually lead to me cycling into work, and breaking the momentum in those chain of events would take more energy than just going with the momentum and cycling into work. This point isn't really about changing how we view habits to being non-negotiables. It's about actually implementing steps to make it more effort to negotiate with yourself than doing something that is just so ingrained in you. Guys, the hard bit is the habit. The hard bit is going to the gym. The hard bit is waking up. The hard bit is sitting down at your desk to work. The hard bit is deciding to make a healthy meal rather than getting a takeaway. But you can add on repetitive, completely unrelated actions before the initiation of this habit, almost to trick yourself into doing the habit. The next thing that inevitably happens on any episode of Millionaire Matchmaker is, guys, I'm so sorry to leave you on that cliffhanger, but I have a very important announcement. Because you're watching this video, I've made the important assumption that, like myself, you are creative, ambitious, and interested in productivity as a means of freeing up more time for what you love. If that is the case, let me introduce Skillshare. As a long-time fan of Skillshare, I'm so excited to be partnering with Skillshare on this video and sharing some of my favourite classes of the month themed around the topic of this video. In no particular order whatsoever, first we have Notion Masterclass, Maximise Your Productivity and Organisation by Ali Abdal. Secondly, Productivity Habits That Stick by Mike Vardy. And last but no means least, Learn How to Learn Anything Based on Science, Effective Study Techniques and Beating Procrastination by Jade Bowler. What's even more incredible is that as a loyal subscriber to the channel, you can access all of these classes completely for free, because the first 500 people to click the link in the description will get a 1 month free trial of Skillshare. Now, on the off chance that none of those classes appeal to you, maybe just make the most of the free trial anyway. Click the link and have a browse, because I am sure that with such a huge variety of classes and opportunities for learning, something will take your fancy. Now, what was it that inevitably happens on every episode of Millionaire Matchmaker? Patti has a little bit of a word with the millionaire.
What am I doing here?
And tries to persuade them to go for a more age-appropriate partner and look for qualities that are a little bit deeper than surface level. Ta-ta! A lot of the time, the reason that this millionaire has not yet found a partner that is suitable is because they keep seeking the more aesthetic, surface level traits.
All of this goes away, the body, the looks. Show them that you're the good guy.
And Patti needs to do something to break the behaviour, reverse the trend, which can be very difficult when you're talking to a 40-year-old man who spent 20 years dated women who are well above his league and well below his age. The millionaires go to the mixer where they're faced with loads and loads and loads of potential suitors, and Patti gives them a big old pat on the back for going for the more age-appropriate option. And I hear you ask, how on earth does this impact how I can make habits stick? Guys, we need to make them attractive. We need to be Patti giving these decrepit millionaires a pat on the back. This step of the system is called the flirtation. We are initiating the flirtation with the habit that we want to achieve. And there are two ways to trick our brain into making the habit something a little bit more substantial and long-standing. We can either make the habit that we want to achieve more attractive, or we can make the bad habit unattractive. Examples of how we can make the desired habit more attractive. Number one, a habit tracker. The dopamine kick that you will get from checking off your habit tracker every single day should not be underestimated. I think that we underestimate any dopamine kicks that come from things other than food, drugs, or sex. But guys, we are simple creatures. A simple checkbox goes a long way, and there are so many Notion templates that you can find online for habit trackers that you do not even need to put in any effort yourself. Steal someone else's template and use it for yourself. But of course, we can also offer some other incentives. So there's something that I do whenever I remember to meal prep and obviously don't have to buy my food at the crusty hospital canteen, and that is transfer the amount of money that I would have spent in the hospital canteen to a little savings pot. And you know what? The little cha-ching in my Monzo pot really does hit me in the soul and do something to me. Another incentive that I've utilised in not taking my phone to bed with me, which, guys, I'm so proud of myself for this one because it was a habit that I've wanted to implement for years, and I haven't taken my phone to bed with me for weeks. And one of the ways that I've managed to do that is making sure that I have a good book by my bedside table that I am excited to read. Guys, I have made this habit more attractive by replacing the dopamine that I would have got from my phone with probably slightly less dopamine that I would have got from a book, but still, it's a replacement. The other thing that I've done to implement this habit, which relates to making the habit more unattractive, is that my cable for my phone is actually behind my drawer in my desk, as in my desk has a cable hole to put cables through, and I've put the cable through the hole, but to get the plug and unplug the cable, you have to pull out the drawers, put the drawers on the floor, get it out, put the drawers back in, and then plug it in by my bed. So I've made taking my phone to bed unattractive, because if I was to charge my phone by my bed, it would just be a whole faff. Now, coupled with the fact that I have a book that I'm very excited to read on my bedside table, no phone in bed. Another great, albeit expensive way that I have made an undesirable habit unattractive is not buying a staff parking permit for work. Let me explain. Obviously, I want to build up this habit of cycling to work. So to make driving to work unattractive, every time I park in work, it costs me £8. And see, this is the thing. Given my quite significant ADHD, I often forget to pay for the parking at work. And I think I'm on my 4th ticket, and I've been working there 2 months. Let me tell you, every time I get a ticket, I cycle to work with a lot less negotiations the next day. We are simple creatures. And much like a millionaire who knows that he would be better suited to an age-appropriate partner who fits his non-superficial criteria, the millionaire is an animal.
You are really hot today, Patti.
And he is gonna go for what is gonna give him the quickest dopamine kick, which is probably having a very attractive younger woman on his arm. We're all aware of the long-term benefits of keeping to habits, because why else would we want to stick to the habit? If you want to go to the gym, you are aware that that will mean that you're healthier. If you want to meal prep for the week, you're aware that will mean that you're eating a better diet and reducing your risk factors for health conditions in the long term. Guys, consciously, we know about the long-term benefits. It's our subconscious that keeps on fucking us over every single time. And what we need to do is we need to trick the subconscious by finding something that it cares about more than the bad habit that we want to break. Make the bad habit annoying, inconvenient, expensive, and find an alternative dopamine kick to associate with the good habit. All you have to do is tip the balance in favour of the good habit. Now, the way that Patti from Millionaire Matchmaker likes to do this, she will find the most incredible age-appropriate prospective partners for these millionaires.
But it's true!
They will be intellectual, successful, warm, glamorous, attractive, everything this millionaire has dreamed of, but a little bit more age appropriate and more matched personality wise. And then on top of handing these prospective partners to these millionaires on a plate, she will also give them verbal encouragement and pats on the back every time they engage in any interactions with these prospective partners. Just that little added extra dopamine kick to tip the balance in favour of the desired habit. But inevitably, as I said, these millionaires are animals. And in almost every single episode of Millionaire Matchmaker, they go for the prospective partner that they have specifically been told to stay away from. Patti, who might I add, is a very intimidating woman.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far and be that creepy.
Calls the millionaires into her office, and she gives the millionaires a bollocking to end all bollockins. And you know what? A lot of the times the millionaires are beyond saving, but just like you, watching this video because you have an intention of changing, you want to make habits stick. The millionaires who want to change. They come back, they redeem themselves, they find a partner who is over the age of 25, and they go off into the sunset and live happily ever after. How does this apply to habits? Well, guys, I hate to break it to you, no matter how rigorous the ritual is before the habit, at some point the habit will fail. Weekends, holidays, illness, poor mental health. There are an endless array of reasons your habit will be brought to an abrupt halt. I'm going to assume that this has happened to you. It's definitely happened to me, and I think it's been so disheartening because when we think about how much effort it took to get a habit to a place where it was so part of our muscle memory and we were doing it on a daily basis, the amount of effort that we think that we're going to have to put in again terrifies us. Like, say for medical school, for example, if someone told me today, you're gonna have to go back and redo medical school, Immediately I would say, absolutely not. I'm not redoing 5 years of blood, sweat and tears. I remember exactly how hard that was and how much I had to persevere to make it to the end. And honestly, I don't think I've got that in me anymore. Whereas in reality, I've been through medical school once. If I was going to do it a second time, it would be a lot easier. If you have implemented a habit once, it is so much easier to implement it again. Do not be fooled by the memory of how tough it was to implement in the first place to stop you fighting to regain that habit again. Just like Patti and the millionaire did the initial work. They entertained the idea of an age-appropriate partner who was more suited to them on a deeper level. Yes, they tripped and they fell into the arms of a 22-year-old model, but they made so much progress, and that progress does not just disappear. I think what's personally really helped me is every time I go into trying to implement a new habit, I have already accepted that at some point I will fail, I will flop, and I will have to find the energy in me to start up again and give it another go. A lot of the time it's actually the guilt of failing the habit that impacts my self-esteem and motivation, stops me from even trying to implement the habit again. I've also got a video about how to achieve more by doing less, which you'll probably be interested in if you've enjoyed this video, so I'll pop it here, and also a video on how to kick the habit of constantly scrolling, which I will pop here. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah!